Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach says that he's been training Andy Ruiz Jr. for quite some time prior to Andy Ruiz Jr. Signing with his new trainer. Freddie Roach once trained Andy Ruiz Jr., said don't be fooled by his physique. He also stated that, he wasn't surprised that Andy Ruiz Jr. Beat Anthony Joshua. He actually bet on Andy Ruiz to beat Anthony Joshua. He says that no disrespect to Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua is a cool guy. He's a cool, they're cool, they talk, he says a friendly guy, and they're cool. So he said no disrespect to Anthony Joshua, but he knew that Andy Ruiz Jr. was going to beat Anthony Joshua. He stated that styles make fights. Anthony Joshua has a lot to learn. He has a lot to change, he stated. He cited that the reason he lost, he's too muscular. Said just because a guy has big biceps doesn't mean that you're going to win the fight. He said he's been going downhill since the Vladimir Klitschko fight. He said since the Vladimir Klitschko fight, you've seen a decline. He said he needs to go back to when he first came out the Olympics, drop all that muscle, too much muscle mass. He said get rid of all that muscle mass, go back to when he was just coming out the Olympics. That's when he was at his best. He said, I would love to train Anthony Joshua. He said, I'm not in the business of trying to, underline anybody and take anybody's fighters. He says, but Anthony Joshua has a lot to learn. He says in the rematch, going into the rematch, is going to be a duplicate of the first fight. He says it does not matter where the fight takes place. The ring is still the same size. Andy Ruiz Jr. is only going to get better. Anthony Joshua is going to stay the same, and Anthony Joshua is going to lose again. And Freddie Roach also plans on betting on this fight once again, unless he's training Anthony Joshua. So he stated that Anthony Joshua has been going downhill since the Vladimir Klitschko fight. The Vladimir Klitschko fight may have took stuff out of him, and you could clearly see that he hasn't been learning. He's plateaued, and actually he's on the downslide. Wow. So he said that Andy Ruiz is going to repeat what he did in the first fight, and it's going to be sad because Anthony Joshua hasn't made any adjustments. He needs to get a new trainer and make some adjustments, cut out all the weightlifting, and just stick to just boxing. Muscles don't win fights. So, my thoughts on that is I think that Freddie Roach is 1,000% correct. Like I stated, everybody sees this. Everybody's seen this coming from a mile away. Everybody understands that if you're somebody, if you're not a casual, if you're in touch and in tune with the sport of boxing, and you go through gyms and the history of the sport of boxing, muscles just don't win fights. Actually, guys with a whole lot of muscles and a big physique, they usually tire quickly and they usually lose. They're not the greats are not muscular guys, point blank and period. So with that said, Freddie Roach also cited that Anthony Joshua tires very quickly. He said he gets tired very quickly because the body can't carry all that muscles in the sport of boxing. It demands a lot of oxygen, and just the sport alone demands oxygen. So when you're trying to carry all that muscle, it just works against you. And Freddie Roach is 1,000% correct as well on that point. I believe that styles make fights. I think that this style is all wrong for Anthony Joshua. He's daring to be great. He's going to come back to New York, Madison Square Garden, and go directly into the rematch against most people's advice, especially pundits and trainers and former fighters and current fighters and Hall of Famers that advise Anthony Joshua to take a step back, have a few tune-up fights, then go back into the fight. Anthony Joshua says, no, he's not trying to do that. He's going to dare to be great. He's going to he's pushing all the chips in the middle of the table, and he's betting on himself. That's what we like to hear in the sport of boxing. That's what we like to hear in all sports. We want these athletes to dare to be great. But I just think that if Anthony Joshua don't make any changes, he lacks head movement. He lacks endurance. He's very stiff, and he just lacks experience as well. Thus the reason why I cited Deontay Wilder to beat him. I've always picked Deontay Wilder to beat him because Deontay Wilder is more limber. He's loose, he's more athletic, and he has endurance out this world to go along with power. That's a recipe for disaster for Anthony Joshua. That almost was a recipe for disaster for Anthony Joshua with Vladimir Klitschko, but Vladimir Klitschko just could no longer, he saw it, he saw the opening, but he could no longer pull the trigger, so to speak. You know what I mean? So he just wasn't able to capitalize on the openings that he saw because I just think that Father Time caught up to him, his advanced age, and not to mention Vladimir Klitschko was never the most quickest, most athletic heavyweight to begin with. So but he proved that, Anthony Joshua, he exposed Anthony Joshua. You understand? And since that fight, I agree with Freddie Roach. Anthony Joshua has made no adjustments, no changes in his approach. He just haven't. He's still doing the same old things. He talked about losing muscle, cutting back, and it looks like he just either stays the same or gets bigger. At one point he got up to 260 pounds of muscle, right? And now he cut back, but he's still 250 pounds of muscle. He definitely needs to get to at least 240 pounds, in my opinion. Stop weightlifting. It's not necessary for him. Just get to calisthenics and get loose and get more flexible and more limber and get your endurance up, But I believe Anthony Joshua likes how he looked on the scales. As Freddie Roach put it, he looks good, but he's just not good. It just backfires on him that he uses he continues to use weightlifting as a regimen in his training, and it just doesn't work. Because the muscles demand so much oxygen in itself that when you're trying to box, the sport of boxing is demanding on the oxygen level as well. So the two just can't coexist. But Freddie Roach cited that Andy Ruiz Jr., if he would have gotten a call and he wasn't in the gym and wasn't prepared, he would have missed out on this opportunity because he would have had to turn this fight down. He said that, but still at the end of the day, he was in the gym, the timing was right, and he was able to pull what was not an upset in Freddie Roach's mind, but was in other people's mind. But Freddie Roach knew this was going to happen. He said that Anthony Joshua has a lot of changes to make. I can help him change it. I would love to help him change it. I would love to push him in the right direction, but I'm not in the business of underlining any other trainers. So it is what it is. I will be betting on this fight again, and I will be making a lot of money on Andy Ruiz again because it will be the same result. So that's all I got, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Is Freddie Roach on point? Is Freddie Roach off point? Let me know. Drop a comment in the comment section. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.